It's just me. Hello.
Hey Tracy, how you doing?
Oh, hi. I'm good. I'm good. Okay, more people are coming in. Great. Because
Yeah.
I'm working while I'm here, so I can't really like focus on the meeting right now. So I'll just be in the background, okay?
Okay, sounds good, Tracy.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey Desiree, how are you doing?
Good. How about you?
Good, I'm doing well. Are you relatively new to the group?
No, I've been in the group for a few months. This is my first Monday call I think I've made though.
Oh, awesome.
And pretty busy, so yeah, I haven't made too many.
What do you I'm guessing you have a job right now?
Yeah, yeah. I've been working as a setter for actually 3 years now,
Nice.
with one company. So yeah, I've been really lucky. I have a really good company, and then I'm like slowly easing into the closing role as well with them. So it's been great.
That's awesome. What company are you with?
Mint CRO. So it's smaller-ish company, but we help with kind of like lead generation and conversion rate optimization.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. And you said you've been with them for 3 years?
Yeah, over 3 years now, actually.
Wow, that's pretty impressive, especially for the space. Congrats.
Yes, I know. I'm really lucky, so I'm grateful for the company I'm at.
Yeah. Is there anything that you're like needing help with or anything that you're looking to get out of this call?
Yeah, there's tons. Honestly, like I think like my weak size definitely like follow up, definitely outbound and our ads have actually really slowed down a lot right now. So figuring out what to do with like the 18,000 leads that we have right now that are just kind of like sitting in our database.
Hmm.
Kind of like how to engage them. And I've always done inbound, and now that the ads have kind of stopped, I have to kind of figure out how to do this whole outbound side of things right now.
Yeah, I mean that's a great spot to be in to understand more. So first off, tech stack wise, what do you guys use?
HubSpot.
Or
Um, and yeah, Alaware we use for like texting and dialing.
are in Alaware. Okay. And then do you guys have an auto dialer, like a multi-line dialer in Alaware, or is it just a single line?
Just a single line
Okay, single line. Okay.
that I know.
So a couple things that I would look at, and do you have, I mean, you've been there quite some time. Do you have like the ear of the manager where if you needed to do something or ask to do something that they'd be open with it?
Yeah, yeah, we have a really small team, so
Okay.
um, yeah, it was lots of flexibility for sure. Because I've heard like you guys talking about different softwares that you use. So I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how good Alware is. I think I heard better. I'm not sure what the better one was, but it's been causing some challenges for sure.
I use a bunch of different software. I'm a little tech geek. Um, so the way that I would look at it and how old are like this company's been you've been with them for 3+ years, so they've probably been around quite a bit longer, I'm guessing.
Yeah, since like 2017.
Okay, so since 2017. And then your guys's what you guys are offering is what is it specifically?
So we have like a coaching program. We also do agency services, but we help people like test out their messaging, their offer, their ads, and their landing page to get each piece dialed in and improve their conversion rate.
Awesome. So I would break it into like three different categories. And in those three categories, I would also have three different time frames. And so from those categories, the first one would be SMS and email optimization, which is a huge one that people are struggling with right now. I would then do one on maybe like offer conversions, and then another one on like ads. Are their ads converting? Are they doing something in that way? Um, and I'd create messaging like text messages and emails for those three things based on three different time frames. And I would do 90 days or less, 90 days to a year, and then a year or more. And with that, the 90 days or less, I would be a little bit more urgent with it. Basically, those people have come in, came in, opted in for your guys' service somewhat recently. I'd be able to look into those things. The 90 days to 1 year, I would make it more around like kind of like time of the year. Like, hey, we noticed that some of these, ads are a little bit more difficult to be able to bring people in. You're probably spending more money. Have you been looking into doing some optimization? And then anyone a year above, I would kind of send out like a "Are you alive?" message. How's your business doing? Kind of something around that. And then I would talk with your manager and see if you can send out some SMS and email blasts and create a campaign with that. And then anyone that responds, I would call them. And that's how I would structure the outbound process is get get your tools working for you in SMS and email, and then anyone that responds, I would reach out to.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. That makes sense. Because yeah, I definitely can do some email blast or some text message blasts. And then they've been asking me to take over the email side of things as well. So I can work on that. And then you'd recommend kind of doing like the same approach there. And when you say like the SMS and email optimization offer conversions and ads converting, so like send out kind of like one, say like 3 days apart, start with one and then kind of reach out the next day. Oh, how about your emails? How about your offer?
Yeah, and you can create it a little bit more like if they don't respond, let's say you send out the SMS and email like, hey, like, something around, we've noticed in the space that, a lot of people's SMS and email isn't converting the way that it used to. Like, is this something that you're finding an issue with? And then if they don't respond, um, then the next one that I would be is like, most people that do have SMS and email issues might also see offer conversion rates drop as well. Have you been seeing and so it like kind of builds on top of it because you're sending it to the same person is seeing what resonates with them. And if something sticks, then I would go after and talk with them about that. Does that make sense?
Right. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And then kind of like build off of it for sure.
Yep. And then like with those three categories, it's like more urgent for the 90 days or less. And then you get to like filtering it out on that's like another testing point for you is to understand like, okay, maybe if they're more recent, that you're probably going to get more people communicating back with you. But then also with it being more recent, you can be a little bit more direct with them. Whereas people in the 1 year plus, they probably need more of a reminding of who you are. So then the messaging will get to be more around like maybe send them a free if you have something free or like a landing page or something where it can like remind them of it, use a story, use a testimonial. Oh, we helped, Zach and his company just from fixing their SMS and email, and it increased their conversion rate by, 10%. Is that something that you'd like to see too? And just kind of get them like an easy response back. And all the like text messages should be short and conversational because you're not necessarily looking for a big response, you're just looking for a response.
Right. Yeah, exactly, for sure. That makes sense. Because yeah, I know you guys talk about like the database reactivation a lot. Which I recently learned since I joined
Yeah.
this group there. And do you have like if I was like testing out different messages, how many people would you recommend testing out at a time?
Depends how many fall into the category, and depends on if there's any message limits to send out in bulk messages, depending on the CRM. But typically, what I would do is I would test, depending on how many there are, at least 3 to 500. With SMS, you're probably looking for like a 3 to 5% response rate, depending on how warm they are. So, you can kind of do the math there. If you send 500 messages, you're at a 5% response rate. You're looking for, you know, 50 people or something like that. Yeah. And then basically you can just break it down and I would start with the um most recent to then the latest, because the latest you're going to get the worst response rate, pretty much, just because they're the coldest.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome. And do you have a specific like CRM that you typically use for SMS?
I mean, I use Go High Level, and I also recently just developed my own CRM. So a little biased to that. I also use a bunch of AI, so it's a little bit different with that. Um, so it just depends on where the company is at and what they're looking to use. If they do want to use AI texting and things like that, I have no problem being able to send you some information and be able to see, but you should be able to get it done without the need of any of that.
Right. Okay, awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely does, right? And if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. I love talking about the database reactivation and everything like that. So
Sweet. Awesome. Will do.
awesome, sweet. Uh, is it Versal? I think
Yeah,
you're new to these calls as well, or at least new to my call. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Good, I'm doing very well. Tell me a little bit about yourself and where you're at right now in your journey.
Sure. So I just finished the course. That
Nice.
was a big hit for me. So now I'm planning to do more calls and hopefully I get my tier 2 certification soon with Mr. Michael. I see him.
Yes, sir.
I was on an offer before. I stayed there for like 3 months, but I didn't generate any money. Like I was booking appointments, but none of them closed. Like the sets, like the closers went through about 50 to 60 of my appointments and none of them closed. And I was like, okay, I need to start over again. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
So are you currently on an offer right now?
currently, no, no, no.
Okay. Did you have data tracking set up when you were on your other offer? Like, were you tracking your sets and everything?
Yeah, yeah, I was.
Okay.
In fact, I have all the sets recorded and put it into Excel sheet with all the call recordings.
Beautiful. So then did you ever go back and see why, like, look at the closing call and see why the calls, like, why they weren't closing?
Most of the leads couldn't see the ROI. It was a TEDx offer. So we booked TEDx talks. So we were talking to CEOs, like authors, and they would be like, okay, if I'm paying 10,000, how do I get the money back from a TEDx? And I think that's why they couldn't. It was just not me, even other sets, like there were two setters, and even him, he was struggling to get converted. And the agency was doing like 15 to 20K a month.
Gotcha. One thing that I would do is I would recommend reading the book Gap Selling. That's
Okay.
going to help being able to understand kind of like where they're at and help them build that vision. So it's a book that'll help you be able to develop that. And then what I would do is there any niche that you're like super interested in right now?
Yeah, I was on a one-on-one call with Corbin, and he told me to even talk to you about AI. I was really interested in AI because we used AI in my previous offer. We used Vappy.
Vappy, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, it really got me interested in AI. So that's where I'm headed right now.
So what I would do with that right now is I would get on YouTube, I would get
Okay.
on School, and I would get on WAP. And I would look at all three of those platforms and see who is running like an AI coaching course, who's running different courses and communities involved with AI. And then I would look at, obviously see if they're open, see if they're looking to hire a setter, go in and be able to find that. Um, Other ways that I would be looking at AI, there's a big insurgence of people running AI communities, teaching other people how to grow an AI community. It's kind of like the it thing right now. And so that's the other thing that I would look at is like any community that you do find, I would be looking at those people to see if I could get a job with them. Because then you can also vet them that way. They have a larger community. Awesome. And by larger community, I'm meaning like 150, 100 to 150 plus people. It doesn't have to be a massive community if it's paid. If it's unpaid, I'd be looking for like a couple thousand people in it. But that's where I would get my start with looking at all the AI. pieces of it. And then you can look at anyone that's on Facebook that does like go high level agencies. All the go high level agencies will be selling AI in the next couple of months. So just some more ways to look for that niche specific opportunity.
Sorry, I was just taking some notes.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love it.
And would you recommend any softwares that I should familiarize, like so that I have a better understanding of how like AI works? And yeah.
I would watch videos on N8N. If you were to watch YouTube videos on N8N, that's because AI is such a big space. There's so many different things you can do with AI, but N8N is probably the one software that's coming in. It's going to be replacing Zapier and Make. It's like an automation platform that you can integrate AI with. So it's definitely one that I would be studying. And based on that, like those are even people that I would reach out to is communities that are teaching people on N8N. That's another easy one that you could go and find job opportunities with. And it's N, the number 8, N.
Yeah, I was researching on it and I found that platform. I even like played around with it. So
Yeah.
but now I'll get into more details. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Drell, how you doing, man? Congrats. Been seeing some big things out of your corner this week.
Yeah, man, it's been good. It's been good. I'm really finding my lane when it comes to this whole phone setting thing. So it's really good. I actually got another closed set today.
Let's
So
go.
that was really good. I was actually gonna ask because there was a little discrepancy between myself and one of the other setters. So he initially contacted this lead about 3 days ago, never triaged him or anything like that, never got him on the phone. And then all of a sudden this guy like popped up on my calendar for like a Zoom triage. So over the weekend I triaged him over Zoom, booked him in, but then for some reason like I couldn't get in touch with him again after that to like confirm because there was a day in between his appointment. So I was calling him yesterday to like confirm he was going to be there. Couldn't get through. And today I called him again, sent him text, couldn't get through. And then I let the closer know. I was like, yeah, I was like, can't get in touch with that Bob guy. I was like, he's probably going to be a no-show. Then she confirmed, like, yeah, the guy didn't show up. And then I guess this Bob guy called back my number, but inside of Alaware, I didn't change like the contact ownership, which I didn't think I had to. I thought that was like an automatic thing. So I guess the call went straight to the other setter. And the guy was like, "Oh, you have to help me. You have to help me." He's like, "I have a call with so and so," and it's like she didn't show up. So the other setter basically did like speed to lead to one of the other closers. That guy ended up closing, and then he was like taking all the credit like that was his close. So I had to like talk to management and say like, "Well, I know I'm new here, but I don't know. I'm the one that triaged that guy and set him." So I was like, "I don't know how this works," but I was like, can somebody explain to me who gets the credit? And just before the call, they said like, no, you're the one that gets the credit. You triage the guy, you got him to show up, and they're like, you get the credit. So that was nice.
That's exciting. Awesome. Was there a question in there that I missed, or that was just like the?
No, there was no
Okay, cool.
question in there. But I did have one question though. I wanted to ask you, so not just me, I've noticed like across the setting team where we've been having trouble with show rates lately.
Hmm.
So I was wondering, like, do you have any insights on like what we can do to help increase that? Like we're obviously, making sure we confirm the calls and all that other stuff, but is there any like little inside tricks or tips that we could maybe implement?
Yeah, there's sure it comes down to a lot of things. There's a lot that you can do with it. I'll give you a couple of easy things that you can do up front with it. Number one is it's understanding your vision and the goal with the call. So when you think about like what's your job, Jarrell, like what's your goal for every call?
My goal is to understand the prospect, make sure that they have a problem that we can solve, and if they do, then get them set up with one of the coaches to like walk them through how we can help them solve their problem. That's what it is in my head.
Okay. So the goal is to set them, right? Find a problem, see it, set them. And
Mhm.
that is the ideal goal, but you're putting your vision onto them. So
Okay.
their goal, like what they see is them getting set for the call is their goal as well. And so you have to think about that. If that's their goal that they are perceiving from you, then they understand that that's the end. Like I'm getting sold, this is what's happening, that's just the end of it. If your vision becomes so much farther to the fact that your goal for them is to reach their goals. And when your language becomes about that, like everything that you're talking about is to get them to their goal, well, then their vision is on their goal, which is then past the set call, past the close call, and it's actually into the opportunity. And so that's a big thing that from a setter's standpoint, that you can change the vision that you have when you're setting the call to actually helping them get their end result, because it'll actually change the energy and the feeling that you're putting off in the call.
That makes sense.
That's one thing to do. The next thing to do, so is vision casting is the big one. And we can go down a huge pathway with that. The next one is understanding that your time is limited. And
Mhm.
when someone has accepted that they want the call. So the first thing with it is when they're accepting the call, it's not about I can do this for you. Nobody like I don't want you to do anything for me. Because then that means I have to do something in return for you, which means money, which I don't want to do that. And so that's the problem that most setters have is they go, well, if I could do this for you, do you want to take like I think that might be the best route to go. And it's like, well, it's not about what you think, it's about what they think. And so being able to use we language, hey, if we could get you on a call to be able to help show you your goals and show you everything, is that something you'd want to take advantage of? And so when you use we language, you're grouping them in, even though when you say we, it's like we as a company, but
Mhm.
and then you use you because you actually say like, would you want to take advantage of that? You're then wrapping them into the we conversation.
Right.
And so now that it's a we conversation, not a I to you conversation, it's no longer a sell. Because if I'm talking to you like this, you're selling me. But if you and I are just hanging out and we're just having a good time chatting, we're looking at the same piece of paper here. You're not selling me anything. That's the feeling that you need to put off as well.
Right. Like we're sitting on the same side of the table, not sitting across from them.
Exactly. Exactly. And then once you have that completed, then when you're in the booking phase, you have ultimate control. And this is one part where most setters get scared and they speed through the process. Once you've gotten their commitment to the call, slow down and take control because that's actually your close. And so, what do I mean by that? Is when you go to book a call, it needs to be set up in a couple of ways. The first way is you're not asking them when they're available. A doctor never cares when you're available. They care when I have time on the calendar for the doctor. And that's
Right.
the thing with you though. I don't really care when you're available. I care when we can actually tend to this call for you. And so, what time are you available tomorrow? Is it better afternoon or evening? Okay, better in the afternoon? Great. Sometimes that I have in the afternoon, I have 1 or 3 p.m. Which one works best for you? Well, I think 1 p.m. works pretty good. Okay, and if 1 p.m. works pretty good, like, are you sure that's like the best time? Are you sure like maybe a 2 p.m. or like a 2:30 doesn't work better? No, 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 no. A 1 p.m. works best. And you see how they're going back, and because you're trying to force the commitment away from that time, they're actually then recommitting to the time, and you're
Mm,
down on the commitment to the time.
yeah.
Because if they do actually say, oh, well, yeah, actually, like a 2:30 works best or works better for me. Okay. Well, and if a 2:30 works better for you, does something later in the day possibly work best? Like, should we actually look for like a 5 or a 6 p.m.? And then if they continue to go, oh, yeah, like actually a 5 or 6 p.m., then I'd go, hold up. Hey, John, like, we kind of talked about this and you seem pretty interested, but I'm kind of curious. We're having a pretty hard time finding a time that actually works for you. So I'm curious to know, why do you think this can work for you? Like, what about this intrigues you about this opportunity? And then you're basically what it's showing you is that he's not sold on the opportunity. And so then you need to take him back to resell himself. And so then you pull out and go, why do you want this? Oh, well, I think it can help me do this, this, and this, and this. Okay, and if it can help you do all of these things, what time, like give me a specific time that you can actually set aside to invest into yourself to be able to get these results. When can you do that? And then they're going to give you a time that's actually available. And so it's going to do two things. One, it's going to get them to commit. And two, it's going to show them that either they're not committed and they need to get resold into it, or that they're just not really a good fit. And so then it's really going to eliminate that factor of like either yes, this works 100%, get me locked in, I'm going to show up, or no, I'm not really interested in it. Awesome.
Right.
I'd rather not book you then,
Exactly.
and be able to show that. So those are some, I think I went over like three different pathways that you can improve the show rate just depending on what's kind of going on inside your process. Other things after that, so post set. Well, actually, I guess there is one more thing here. It's it's building the connection to the closer. So you have the entire relationship,
Hmm.
and you have the entire relationship in your hands here. And when you set it, what you're doing right now is you're going and you're shooting it, and that's what you're doing. And then it's just the relationships is kind of up in the ether here.
Hmm.
In fact, what we want to do is I actually want to hand this relationship to the closer, though. I don't want to shoot it. I want to hand it to the closer. And the way that you do that is you build the relationship. You build the bridge of the relationship over. So number one, you have to know something unique or interesting about the closer. For example, when I was doing Airbnbs, one of the closers had bought a boat specifically to put it on Airbnb because then it was a tax write-off. And so he got a boat that was a tax write-off. He put it on Airbnb, and then he 5x of what the boat was actually worth. That way, no one would ever get on it. He got a boat for free. Like, like extremely smart way of doing it. But I use that scenario to build the relationship with every single person. Because what I would do is like, oh man, like, hey, you got on with the closer's name was Lance. Hey, you're connected here with Lance. The awesome thing with Lance is he knows this space so well. He actually bought a boat and got the whole thing off as a tax write-off. That way he could just have a boat now. Wouldn't you like to know how to do the same exact thing? Maybe it's not a boat, but maybe, you could get something that's like a tax write-off. Would you find it valuable to talk to someone like that? Well, absolutely. Awesome. You actually mind texting him and just reminding him to talk about the boat on your guys' call? Yeah, no problem. I want to know about your boat. And I had every single person text him before the call, increase my show rate. Things that I
That's a good idea. Getting that is asking them to text, edifying the closer and then saying, "Hey, you want to text him and bring that up?" That's slick.
And a big part about it is that the way automations work on the back end. So if you've already built a relationship with the client through your phone number, but
Hmm.
oftentimes, and I would probably say this with every single sales team that I've ran into, the closer has a different number from the setter, and they should. And so
Right.
what happens is there's no relationship built there with the phone number. And so if we send automations, if they have an Android, it goes into a different spam bucket. But if they have an iPhone, it shows up as spam. Like it shows up in the weird numbers and stuff. And so it looks weird. If you have them text that number, before you get off the call, it shows that it recognizes it more and none of the automations go to spam.
That is good to know.
Yep.
That's good to know. Thank you very much, Jared. That's very helpful. I'm gonna implement this stuff and see how that works because, like I said, between all of the setters, like we're having show rates. Like a lot of people are booking like 5 and 8 calls a day, and it's like a lot of them aren't showing up. And so I can see now with what you just explained, like and listening to some of their calls and listening to my own calls, it's like we need to do a better job at like speaking we language, edifying the closer, like you're saying, and then throwing in that little texting trick, that'd be really good. I could see how all those things would definitely help the show rate.
Yeah. And then I would even do you can you schedule messages? Like you personally, can you schedule text messages with your CRM?
I'm not too sure. I'm still learning it. We use Alaware, so I don't know. Maybe you know it a little bit more.
I've only used Alaware a couple of times. I'm not the biggest fan of Alaware. So I'm not really sure, but if you can schedule text messages, what I would do is I would send a message um 3 hours before their scheduled appointment. Oh, cool, awesome. So yes, you can schedule messages. But I'd schedule a message for 3 hours before their appointment, and then I would have it say something like use the closer's name and basically be like, hey, just talked with closer's name. They're excited to talk with you here in 3 hours. Noticed you haven't confirmed yet, or wanted to make sure you're confirmed for the call. I'll shoot you a phone call in 1 hour if you don't confirm. And so then it gives them, okay, hey, cool. We're excited. You guys been talking about it. Great. Our call's here
Mhm.
in 3 hours. Awesome. Most opportunities won't have a 3 hour message. They either do like a 4 or 2 hour message. Three's kind of like a block where most businesses won't send a message. And so then what I would do is if they don't respond back to you, I would give them a phone call. And if they don't answer the phone call, then I would let them know that you're going to have to cancel the meeting. And what I would do is then let the closer know that, and at that point in time, it's like test it out a couple times, see if it works, talk with the closer, let them know, hey, I called them, let them know that I'd have to cancel the meeting. And then if you find that they don't show up after you do that, then I would talk to the manager about like, hey, can I just cancel these meetings? And then I would call them, like you call them at the point in time of their meeting. And if they're available, then maybe try and do a warm transfer over to a closer or just rebook them in.
Okay, that's right on, man. That's super. That's super valuable.
Yep.
I really think implementing this stuff is really gonna help.
Absolutely. And even let them know like on the at the end of the call, let them know that you're gonna call them 3 hours before or 2 hours before the meeting just to confirm and have them put it in their calendar. I always tell setters like, hey, if you know that you're gonna call as part of your SOP, just book a follow-up basically. Like
Mhm.
put it on their calendar, then they know. And I mean, it's not going to help every single person out, but it should be able to bring in about like, 20, 30% more of people from no show.
Okay, and what about one last thing? Like, what about like when you're booking them in, like just saying to them, like, and you're gonna, because we usually tell them like you're gonna receive some automated text from whatever the closer's name is. If you just want to confirm, just to like let them know. I'm thinking of adding like, and if you don't respond back, like, and confirm, we'll have to cancel your appointment.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
don't know. What do you think
but-
about that?
so in the beginning, I mean,
Might
yes,
be a little harsh right off the start.
I mean, yes and no, right? Because I would I would never get off a call with someone without them texting the closer, right? So it'd be matter of texting them anyways. Now I would let them know like, hey, if we don't hear from you, like if it's a next day appointment, I'm probably not saying it because they're booking next day. If it's 2 days out or more, then I would probably let them know like, hey, if we don't hear from you day of the call, we're gonna need to cancel your appointment. So just to let you know, I'm going to be calling you at in this time frame. Give them like a 2 hour time frame. I'm going to be calling you in this time frame that day to reconfirm our call. We can reschedule it if need be. But look, if you don't pick up and you don't text, I'm going to have to cancel it off the call to help preserve our time. And so that's
Okay.
more of what I would do, and be tactical with it. Not use it on everyone, but only for people that are like farther out in the time, because it can bring up and stir up some mixed emotions in the beginning. And if you're trying to book a call in and they're like, "Oh, you're just trying to cancel my call immediately," like what's going on? So
Right.
just kind of like playing the field, seeing how they feel about it. But
Okay.
Stubbs, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Well, yeah, I just, Jarrell was like, "Hey, it can come off harsh." Like, it's not going to be harsh, man. It's all depends on how you talk to him because you're like, "Hey, Jarrell, man, we're super excited to have you show up. So I want to text you a few hours before. Hey, I know life can get super busy, right? Cool. So I need you to text me back, make sure we're still good. If I don't see it, I'm going to give you a call just to make sure we're still on. Okay? Cool. Boom. Like, just super cool. Like, care about
Okay.
people.
No, I thought I was saying the part which might seem come off harsh is like, oh, we'll have to cancel your appointment.
Well, yeah. Do you not respect your own time?
No, I definitely do. I definitely do.
Here you go.
It's
Okay. Thanks for
well,
that.
in the beginning, this is going to be a foreign concept, and it's something that like you don't need to try and like master this or try and master this, but as you go along, it'll develop, but being okay to walk away from the table. So right now you don't need to be okay with it because you're new, you're good. Like it's all there. But um eventually like you'll be able to figure it out and learn where it's just like, okay, cool. If I'm harsh, I'm harsh. Like if I'm not, I'm not. Like I texted someone today that I was going through a sales process with, and I was like, look, this is how we set up our deals. You like it or you don't. Are you guys frozen? Oh, you guys are there. Okay. All of you guys stopped moving at the same time. And whoa. um, but yeah, so sometimes it is just like this is how it is.
Right.
Like it or don't.
And I'll get more comfortable with that. It's just I'm not just not there yet, but I will get more comfortable with that, and especially as I, make more money in this space and I don't feel the need to have to set everybody. It's like, okay, you don't want to get down like that? Okay. Then see ya.
Absolutely. Yep. And then the biggest thing that I would say is like with all of this, I've tossed a bunch of information at you. The we mentality. I would, like I said,
Hmm.
I would, we should be getting rid of the I because it's no longer about I. Like we like completely eliminate I from the sales call. You don't need it because none of it has to do with you. It's always about the prospect. And when you think about it's always about the prospect, you have to use language that includes the prospect at every step of the process.
I will take note of that.
Awesome. Any other questions, Drew?
No, that's it, Jared. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I hope that was helpful.
It was very helpful.
Simon, how you doing, man?
Yeah, very good, Jared. How about you?
Yeah, doing fantastic.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Awesome. How's
Um,
your process going?
yeah, not too bad. I don't know if you remember, I think last time we talked, I was telling you I was super close to going off on a trip. And yeah, kind of just switched off pretty much while on the trip, just enjoying traveling and all that sort of stuff. And so spent the last week sort of getting back into the swing of things. I'm about 91% of the way complete of the course. So looking to probably get that wrapped up probably by tomorrow night, hopefully, or early Wednesday. And at that point, get booked in. Yeah, probably should get a few reps in. So I don't know if I'll be ready for actually doing the mock on Friday or leave it for next week. Because yeah, I feel quite rusty. It's been about 2 months since the last time I've done any kind of set call at the moment. So yeah, I think like it's gonna be really messy the first couple.
Yeah.
So yeah, got to get get the gears like greased and everything before, really getting back into it. So yeah.
So here's a couple things that I would say. Number one, you could probably connect with Versal and be able to set up some mock calls.
Hmm.
Number two would be I wouldn't shy away from doing the mock call with Stubbs on Friday. I would
Right.
go in welcoming it. If you have any rust and it's still there, I'm sure Stubbs will tell you exactly how to knock it off and be able to get it going. Because
Hmm.
it could be just like riding a bike, get back in, and then you're that much farther ahead in your process than you would if you were to.
Hmm. Yeah. No, that makes total sense. Definitely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure, sure. No,
And
for
then
sure. Like, yeah, if I delay it a whole week, yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah,
one
for
thing that I
sure.
would do is I would pick something that you're interested in. What's a topic that you're interested in right now?
Oh gosh. Fitness is quite high up there. The sort of main sort of kind of experience that I've got is it's quite different to fitness, health and fitness though. So, and I do know people have told me that health and fitness, talking about that for a second, it's a very hard sort of area to set and close in. So, yeah, I've heard that from a couple of sources, so that makes me a little bit kind of, cautious of wanting to get into it. But on a sort of experience front, it's certainly more sort of like kind of income, money generation, things such as investment, digital marketing, e-commerce, that I've got experience in different offers up until now.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, fitness and investments. Right now, or do you currently have any investments that are performing at a what you would consider successful level for yourself?
Mm, not particular. I mean, but I don't know if Bitcoin
Well,
particularly counts. I timed that pretty well, but yeah, that was just right time, right place 5 years ago kind of thing, and yeah.
awesome. So investment is out of the category. Fitness is something that you're interested in. Is
Hmm.
there anything that you're currently doing fitness related on your like your personal self? Are you doing anything fitness related?
Yes. So I mean, I'm training usually at least 5 times, usually 6 times a week, into cardio. I'm doing a cutting kind of phase at the moment. So that's sort of why I'm quite interested in it. So yeah.
Do you work out alone? You work out with people?
I usually work out with my girlfriend, and also we see a PT together, as well, twice a week.
Awesome. Are there any exercises that you like to do that your girlfriend doesn't like to do?
Mm, not sure.
Hmm.
It's definitely the other way.
Ah,
It's definitely the other way round. Is there any that she doesn't like? Uh, not sure. Yeah,
so is it
no.
that she likes to do that you don't like to do?
Um, well, probably deadlift. Straight-legged deadlift is a bad one. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So one thing that I would do is figure out something that number one, have like a in-depth conversation with your girlfriend about working out. Figure out what she doesn't like to do because I guarantee you there's things that she doesn't like to do in part of fitness. And then I would talk with her and sell her on doing it. Figure out why she doesn't and sell her on doing it. And how I would sell her on doing it is I would do a little bit of research on it. And so don't come from just a sales basis, but go do a little bit of research on something and then sell her that something on why she should do, like why you guys should do this together and why it would be beneficial for you guys. And that's how you're going to get better at sales in the meantime.
Okay.
Do a little bit of research,
It's,
figure out what your
it's
girlfriend doesn't like to do, figure out something that will help you guys both benefit in life, and then sell her on it.
mm-hmm.
And one thing that you will notice is that if you do a really good job of the research and you talk with her and you dive through the pain points and everything, she will feel like she came up with the idea instead of you. And if you do a
Mm-hmm.
bad job of the research and a bad job of the sales and cut short that initial discovery process of figuring out what she doesn't like to do, then it won't turn out to be a good conversation, and you'll know very quickly. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Okay.
Yeah, those are little things. Think everything in your life is a sell. If you were to watch a really good movie, it's like these are small little indicators that you guys can like practice on. Like if you watch a movie, like let's say tonight you go watch a movie and then make a game of it and see how many people over the next week you can go get to watch the movie. Because it's something that we all do. How many of us watch TV at night? Watch TV sometime during the day? Me, Jarrell. Okay.
Mhm.
Anybody else? Okay. I'm gonna put up everyone's imaginary hand here because I know everybody's got a Netflix account. I know everyone's got some Amazon Prime or something. So it means that access to watching the thing is relatively zero, right? Unless you watch it on like Paramount or some platform that not a lot of people have. But being able to get them access to it should be super easy, and then you just sell it and see how many times you can sell someone on watching it. Because then it means
Mhm.
a couple of things. It means one, you actually watch the movie. Like you
Mhm.
understand the movie enough to sell it. Well, how can that
Mhm.
relate? Well, it's because you can relate that and correlate it to the script. You can correlate it to the product knowledge. And then you can go, okay, now why might someone want this? Like, why should they watch it? Well, you should watch it because it moved me in this type of way. Whether it's
Mhm.
educational, whether it was just good, it was good drama, whatever it was. And so now you have some backing, some personal tie backing to it. It should actually be in the set call as well. And then
Mhm.
the next one is going to be actually getting them to do it. So like pitching them on doing it, like, whether it's they asked you for a movie or whether you just gave it to them and then you're gonna see like maybe next time you call them, follow up with them in 3, 4 days and see if they watched it. And literally treat it like a sales process and see how it happens, see how it works. Because everything, like literally everything you can break down into a sales process. I break down friendships into sales processes. Like,
Mhm.
oh, haven't talked to this person in a while. Let me reach out to them. Oh, follow-up game. Like
Mhm.
going through it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's cool. Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, yeah. Great tips. Yeah. Look forward to getting started. Yeah, and I'll connect with Vaso as well to get some sets in.
Yeah.
What's your time zone, by the way, Vaso?
So EST.
Oh, perfect. 1 hour behind me. So yeah, we're good.
Sweet.
Awesome. Great.
Awesome.
Happy
Well, we
days.
have like 10 minutes left here. Is there any questions or anything else that you guys want to go over with this reminding time? Jarrell, you're muted.
Okay. I don't know. I'm been doing pretty good lately, but I feel like well, I know I could always do better at my discovery. So I don't know. Do you maybe have any insights on discovery?
Comes down to listening, finding your awareness points of listening. One thing for me is I have to write down notes, like notes
Yeah.
on things to talk about, um, like even just like with you guys, like I've been sitting here writing down notes, coaching, breaking down thought processes. So the same way of discovery is like I have to write it down because it brings up talking points. And so when they're talking, I have like red flags. I'm like, oh, need to talk about that. Okay. Oh, they said financial freedom. Okay, I need to talk about that. Oh, they said this. I need to talk about that. And then I write it down, and then I always have to make sure I go back and get it. So like if I start writing too much, I need to slow them down and come back and actually do discovery on the things that they're saying. And it's going to show them that you're listening. Now, once you do that, you need to understand like what is a discovery, and it's asking three, probably close to about three of these five things. It's a what question, a how, a why, a timing, how, what, why, timing. So timing could go both ways. One of how long it's been happening, and then how, like, what's your time frame on actually fixing this? So like two different types of timing questions. And the reason being is that when someone says something and you just go, okay, like, why? Like, why do you feel that way? And then they tell you, oh, like, I feel this way because of XYZ. Okay, awesome. And then you continue on. But it's like, well, how long have they been feeling that way for? Like, what specifically made them feel that way? How has that impacted their life? And you can create 3 additional questions on that one question, which will then help your discovery go deeper. Because oftentimes you really only need about 3 questions, especially in setting. You only really need 3 questions to get them to your end result that you're looking for. And so you could probably do less discovery on so many things and do more intimate discovery on a couple of things that'll actually get you better results for what you're looking for.
Okay, okay. So instead of like, trying to, like you're saying, instead of trying to spread it out, just have a couple things that you really go deep on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I mean, what specifically are you selling, Jarrell?
So we're selling, it's like a BizOp offer. We're helping people start their own online business and like either an agency that does like lead gen for local businesses or like building websites and leasing them out to other local businesses once you get them. So pretty much like rank and rent.
Okay. And why do, from what you know so far, from the people you've talked to, why are people wanting to do this?
A lot of them I've noticed it's like the biggest thing is like they're looking for that like to make what they call passive income, which I don't really believe in because you always have to do some type of work, but they're looking for passive income. A lot of these people it's that we're getting, they have a job that's just not cutting it for them. So they need extra money to take care of their family and want financial freedom and all this type of stuff.
So if passive income is the end result, everything should lead to passive income. And so every single problem that they have, you should be able to whittle it down to the fact that they don't have passive income coming in. And how's that affecting them? And how long are you going to let that last for? Okay, and what's your solution for fixing that? Oh, it's us. Interesting. Crazy. That's why we're here. And and then you see that, oh, it's like you by asking questions, you bring them to the idea that they are standing in front of you. And then that's how the we begin. Like that's how the we in the conversation starts because they've actually brought themselves to the table. And that's where a really good discovery will actually allow them to sell themselves. Because through the discovery, you've asked them the right questions at the right time to get them to realize that they need your help. You don't have to sell them on the help that they need you.
Great. Thank you very much. Because
Absolutely.
I also believe that that is probably why our show rates probably aren't the best is because we're not doing deep enough discovery. Like we're just doing like this high touch discovery and it's like, okay, that didn't really move me. It's like, but if you really got there deep to like what's my real why here? Like why is this in my way and what's this causing in my life? I feel like, okay, they're gonna remember that. And now they're gonna want to show up for that appointment.
Yep. And one thing that always comes up in BizOps is that setters, when I mean people, setters talk about that they don't have, like, it's so hard for them to get to emotion. Like, oh, I can't get emotion out of people. And it's like every single person wants money. Like you just said, every single person that you've talked to whittles down to passive income,
Yeah.
right? Comes down to money. Okay, what is the most emotional thing in the world? It's one thing that causes the most amount of emotion.
Lack of money, I guess.
Just money. Lack of money, abundance of money, just enough amount of money. Like everything comes down to money. And so
Okay.
when you're thinking of how do I pull emotion out, well, like what's your goal? To make more money? Okay, well, how much more money? And what time frame do you want that money in? Okay, and why aren't you doing that right now? Okay, and how's that affecting you? Ah, the how's that affecting you is the emotion piece. And I'm not trying to be like, how does that make you feel? Like all this stuff. It's just no, like, how's that affecting you? Not having the
Hmm.
method that you want. Oh, that's how it's making you feel. Interesting. Okay. And then you keep on going on. So, and
Thank you very much.
what you can do with that is you can go back and listen to your calls and grade yourself. And I used to do this all the time is I'd listen to my call and go, what was the outcome of that question that I was wanting? I'd ask a question and then the client would respond and I'm like, well, that's not exactly the type of response I wanted. And so then I'd go back and formulate like how can I actually formulate a better question to get the response that I'm looking for? And I would do that until I was able to just formulate the best questions for myself. Stubbs, do you want to explain that note card?
Yeah, dude, you remember the
Yeah, I
depth? Yeah,
remember
depth
that.
does not equal time in conversation. Yeah, depth equals quality of question. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude, do you still got that list of action items I gave you last Friday?
Yeah, I do. I do. And
Awesome,
I'm
man.
working on them. I actually tested that out on a woman today. She's like, "Oh, I'm still watching it," and it's like, then I was like, "Yeah, I know." I was like, "We're fast." I was like, "But while I've got you on the phone, I was like, what caught your eye specifically?" And it just call kept on rolling.
Yes.
Go.
So
Love
it
that.
worked. I'm implementing what you're teaching me. Like I'm not just throwing it away. I'm implementing everything I'm picking up here.
Yeah, Jared's an absolute wizard. Like Jared's helped me, dude. Like he's amazing. We went over one of my closing calls the other day, and he's like, "Dude, just pop, 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 pop." Instantly.
No, no, everything he's been saying tonight is super valuable. I'm gonna implement that and then watch my show rate skyrocket, and then all the other veterans on the team, they'll probably be like, "How's this new guy's show rate so much higher than ours?" And then it's like,
Dude, do it. Cannot
well,
wait.
that's the goal. That's the goal. That's the goal. It's like, they'll be wanting to know how I did it, and then it's like I can teach them. And then my status on the team will slowly be going up, not just some new setter.
Dude,
Yeah,
maybe we'll see you coaching over here at STC someday. Who knows?
let's
Who
get it.
knows? It's right.
Awesome. Sweet guys. Well, any last questions before we jump here?
No, yeah, one question. So where will I be able to find this recording, Jared? Because I'm gonna want to watch this several times to go through this.
I will send it over to Stubbs and he will upload it. I'll put it by end of day tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
Cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we'll get that in there for you.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thanks very much, Jared. Thanks, Stubbs.
And if you guys have any questions throughout the week, feel free to DM me and we can go through anything that you guys need help with. And I look forward for the guys that are going through the mocks and stuff. Looking forward for you guys getting jobs very shortly here and looking to see some wins in the category from Stubbs that you guys are eating away at the mock calls. So
Gotcha. Hey, real quick, just so you guys know, like every single win you put into the school channel, I screenshot and I share with our entire team and do it like keeps us so motivated. So like don't think we're not looking at the things you guys are doing. So you keep us motivated, keep us motivated on these calls, ask good questions and keep killing it out there, guys.
absolutely.
Jared, that was amazing call. I appreciate all your advice, dude.
Absolutely. Also, one thing here, guys, we have our senator closer. Let me make sure this is the right one. But we have our get together coming up here in about a month and a half now. We're all getting together in Colorado, Colorado Springs, for a weekend of fun, just networking. If you guys are in the US, highly recommend coming over and being there with us. If you guys are not in the US, if you're in Canada, still probably be there. If you're overseas, maybe I'd love to have you there, but if not, the second one for sure. But guys, this can be a fun time to be able to get together, just really go through everything, meet each other in person. The amount of knowledge and information that's passed in person, it beats 100 Zoom calls. So, if you guys are in a position where you guys can make this happen, we'd love to have you there. We'd love to be able to get in community with you guys and be able to just skyrocket. So,
Yeah. And come and shoot Jared with paintballs on Friday.
Yes. If you guys can catch me, if you guys can catch me.
He's pretty fast.
But awesome, guys. Pleasure having you guys here. Let's have a great week, and see you guys next time.
All right. Thanks.
Cheers,
Peace.
guys. Thanks.